What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain, Garrett Morlang, and here in the studio with me is the one and only JJ Purdom.
That's right. It's JJ Purdom, and I am here in studio on this. It's the second greatest holiday of the year besides Christmas. Well, third greatest besides Easter as well.
Wait, what holiday is this?
Hashtag Stashmageddon. It's real, people. It happened. You have a voice, and you spoke it into existence, and I just thank you so very much.
Don't you think the name Stashmageddon's a little insensitive to like just the general like political climate right now and everything? Just kind of what's happening in the world?
No, I'm insensitive, and I just say things that are totally inappropriate and like have no sensitivities to what's going on.
Okay.
Although it's kind of crazy, speaking of Mageddon, it has been like The Walking Dead craziness outside in going shopping, trying to go find any kind of meat products. I went to Walmart the other day to try to stock up on stores for the house, and nothing on the shelves. All of the shelves were empty, and I'm blown away by how people are hoarding stuff and not saving any for the rest of us.
Right?
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's messed up. So how have you been this week?
I'm okay, but like, how long are we going to play this up where we got the mask on? I mean,
I don't know. This is my.
Okay.
This is actually my HEPA certified. Whatever,
is that your N95
for my
mask
95,
that you're looking?
Yeah, for
that doesn't block the coronavirus. I just want you to know, and especially
Yeah,
when you got a hole in the nose area.
I mean, it looks that way, but
Well, what it looks like is it looks like your Death Stranding mask that you made out of that. So why don't we go ahead and show everybody that sweet, sweet porn stash?
yeah, I feel bad for all the audio listeners who have to listen to my voice through this muffled plastic, but
Oh, no, your voice is muffled anyway, even when you don't
okay.
have the plastic on.
Do I have to take it off?
Yeah, you kind of have to, so we can let the audio listeners hear you better.
So they can hear what my mustache sounds like.
Heck yeah!
Okay.
If you only knew, it looks like Ron Jeremy and Tom Selleck had a baby together, which is totally weird. I'm just saying.
So here's the deal. This is a point in the show where all of the audio listeners need to go watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, you're gonna
see
have
the grand
to
reveal
because it's unreal.
So here we go. Ready? I'm about to reveal it. Any drum roll or anything? Just.
I'm not very good with that. It would be
Okay.
Oh my gosh, isn't that awesome? I'm loving what I'm seeing. It's sweet. This is it, man. This is the mustache you go home and you kiss the wife on. And you go, you know what, baby? And you got to call her baby from now on. You know what, baby? Shoot, I'm loving this, And you got to stroke it. Stroke it when you're talking and when you're thinking about something, like real deep in thought. You got to stroke that stash.
I don't like
Love
this
it.
at all.
Hashtag Garrett Stash. Hashtag Stashmageddon.
I got home from work today and I walked in and my wife was like, she was ready. She's like, oh, I need to go take a shower before you leave. Oh, I'm like, no, today's the day. I have to shave. I need to shave and shower. She's like, oh no.
And she said, bleep JJ. Bleepity bleep that son of a bleep.
Right in front of our 2.5-year-old.
Did he hold his little hands up to like cover the foul curses that came out of your wife's mouth?
Yeah, basically. And then I proceeded to shave and I showered and I came out shamefully and very, very scared of what was going to happen. And my wife just
she loved it. She was like, I love it. Oh my gosh. Threw herself all over you.
So
like, how much time do you have before you got to go to the podcast and rip your clothes off?
We have an island in our kitchen. Not an island. I don't know what you call it.
And she threw you on top of it?
A peninsula that comes out from the wall. But there's like cabinets and like the range hood over our stove and everything.
Yeah.
So like at eye level, like you can see into the living room, but you can just see people's feet. You have to like duck down to see underneath, and then you can see into our living room.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in and she's just like, oh, did you do it? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, do I want to look? I said, no. And she like slowly bends down and looks through our little look through into our living room.
Did her face just like let down like real hard?
She looked very, very disappointed and very sad, very upset.
Oh man.
And yeah, I may never feel the skin of my wife again against, no hugs, no kisses, no nothing. Just
I don't understand it because I'm looking at you and I want to throw myself on you right now. Well, I'm loving this stash.
So that's
the thing
why
is awesome.
Immediately after the show, I'm going and shaving it off, whatever it takes.
Oh, so we're getting baby smooth butt-faced Garrett next week?
So not totally smooth. I don't own a razor, so I'm just using my beard trimmer. You can actually, I don't know if you can tell if my camera is that good that we're using, but that's the other thing. We may or may not even have video this week because our boss stole our camera.
Yeah.
Technically, it's his camera, but
technically.
Semantics,
Yeah.
So I'm recording with my iPhone, and hopefully it's good enough quality and I can get it exported over to the computer. But yeah, this is what a little bit of stubble on my chin looks like, and then that's what I'm doing with the stash later.
I'm loving it. I think you need to go ahead and keep it because I'll tell you, like, honestly, and you want honesty. You don't want me to BS you or both.
I
think
love
you look
honesty.
more like a man than you've ever looked in your life.
I love honesty, but honestly, you're the last person I'd ever want honesty from. So that's.
Oh, thanks, Garrett. Wait. I don't think I understand that, but okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Now, you're lucky I'm not very smart.
So,
other than you shaving off the mustache or shaving everything down to a mustache, and the fact that you obviously haven't died from the coronavirus yet. You haven't been sent home from work from the coronavirus yet.
No.
What else is going on in your week? You doing all right?
Yeah, doing all right. My son is sick, not with coronavirus. Right in the midst of all of this.
You got to preface that.
Yeah. Well, everyone, what's crazy is we were sitting on the couch on Sunday and we're like, what are the freaking chances? Everything crazy is happening in the world. Things are crazy at work lately. For me, for both of us, it's been crazy. And then, podcast stuff. I have to shave this dang mustache. That's crazy. That's been weighing on my shoulders.
Crazy.
That's been weighing on my shoulders the last few days. And then, we're like, what are the freaking chances my son comes down with I don't even know, it's mad cow disease or something, whatever they call it. I don't think that's it. But he just has some crazy, things that 2-year-olds get, your normal toddler diseases.
Syphilis, gonorrhea, herpes.
No, not usually those, but.
That's what you said. Okay. No. Well, they have a retroviral thing they can give to kids now when they get those herpes.
So anyways, so it's on top of all this other craziness, we've been quarantined, not even because of, the real threat out there, but this other side threat came in from the side and flanked us. It's straight up tackled my son into submission and in the process knocking the rest of us over. So we're not sick. Me and my wife aren't sick, but it's just dang it, we want to go outside and do things. We can't take our contagious 2-year-old out everywhere.
Oh yeah, you can. You can.
People
will hate you and give you the evil eye thing and the sign of the cross or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. No, so everybody in my house is sick too. And
great. So what are the chances that we're going to cross-contaminate here? Probably pretty high,
could
right?
happen, but here's the thing. I'm such a hardcore man, I don't ever get sick.
Except for last Thursday.
Yeah. I did have a sickness there. But it was a one-day thing. I woke up at 3:45 in the morning, and my son had crawled into bed with me and my littlest, and I felt my leg was wet. And I was like, what the heck is that? And I kind of sat up, half asleep, why is my leg soaking wet? And I saw him sitting on the edge of the bed, throwing up off the bed onto the floor. I jumped up and I caught a bunch of it with a shirt, and I was catching all this, vomitus that he was throwing out.
Does he not understand how a toilet works?
I guess he didn't have any time. So I looked down and realized, oh, my leg's wet because he yacked all over me. So he had thrown up all over me. And so I'm stripping bed and cleaning everything. And
see, I cannot handle throw up. So if anyone throws up near me, if I hear it, if I smell it, if I see it, I'm throwing, whether I'm actually sick or not, I can't handle that. You are a bigger man than me, because if I realize that, I would immediately be like,
it doesn't affect me. But now that you have that mustache, probably wouldn't be a problem because you're so manly. You just man up.
I don't want to test that theory.
So I went to the bathroom maybe an hour and a half later, and I got up and went to the bathroom, and on the way back laid down, and literally 2 seconds after my head laid down, I was like, I'm going to throw up. And I jumped up, ran to the bathroom, barely made it, and projectile vomited myself. And I had stomach sickness all day long. I only threw up the once and then a little bit later, but I felt weak and jittery. John, our boss, sent a text. I'm half dressed. It's 7:30 in the morning, getting ready to leave the house, and I feel like garbage. He sends a message warning us to be careful about sicknesses and going near people, and how we want to try to protect ourselves and each other. And so I let him know, like, hey, I've been up all morning throwing up and and stuff like that. He immediately called and said, stay home, just stay home.
Well, not immediately, because he called me first.
Well, it was fairly quick, yeah. And
made me do all JJ's work, because
Sorry
JJ sucks. So bad.
And how does it feel for a change? Pretty crappy, huh? And then so I stayed home, and you know what? 2 hours into the day,
he was kicking it, playing PS4, living the life.
You're such a jerk. I'm never telling you nothing again. No, so I actually was like, oh man, it's a good thing I stayed home. I was so happy that I did, because I felt like trash, and I would have just pushed through and just went to work, because that's what you do. When I was younger, man, when I'd be sick, I'd have like, a bad case of the farts, and I'm like, I'm not going to work for 3 days. And when you become somebody who has responsibility, you have kids to take care of, you could have your leg has fallen off and you're duct taping it on to try to get to work.
Well, that was one thing I was telling John was, because he was like, we met up at one point in the afternoon. We were just like, we should totally just like trash JJ, and we're on Marco Polo, and we talk back and forth amongst each other, and we're like, we just totally just like really make him feel bad. I'm like, no, we can't do that, because if tomorrow he's not better, like JJ's the type of person where his intestines could be hanging out his butthole and he'd still come into work. So we really can't do that, because if he's not good tomorrow, we don't want him coming in. And John's like, yeah, you're right.
And I really am that kind of person. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. But I did work Friday, and I felt a whole lot better. I wasn't sick anymore. But yeah, everybody else in my house for some reason is sick, and I got it a little bit and kicked out like a man.
Like a man. Cool. Let's get into some housekeeping quickly here. Doom Eternal stream, March 20th with Zetch Keenan. I announced it last week that it was happening. We now have a time. It looks like we're tentatively starting for 9 p.m. Could start a little earlier, a little later. Like I said, just watch our social media feeds, but I'm going to get there around 8:30. We're going to set all the stuff up. Hopefully we'll have our camera back by then.
Oh, you're going to be there with him when he's streaming it?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I told you last week. You're invited. We're all invited to go.
I wasn't listening.
Okay.
But I did watch the stream that he was on recently.
Last week, yeah.
He was killing it, man.
He's good.
Yeah, he's very good.
He's great.
Yeah.
Are you going to make it Friday or no? Is it still? Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. I think he asked me, he's like, hey, is JJ coming? I'm like, you want me to be completely honest? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
like that's the most honest answer I could give, because probably
I'm
not.
an enigma.
Probably not, but you never know. Like, you might get a knock at your door. You don't know how he got your address. You didn't give it to him. He might just show up.
It's happened before.
You just don't know. So that is happening at 9 p.m. March 20th. Doom Eternal. We are streaming. That's launch day. It comes out that day. So come join us as we jump into the new Doom game. I'm excited only because I only played a little tiny bit of Doom from 2016. And for me, it didn't really grab me, but everything I've heard is like, oh, this game's like way better. Like, it's just the gameplay is so much more fun, and there's some cool stuff that they've added. So come join us, experiencing that for the first time.
And we're able to like meet. I mean, more than like 2 people we can meet legally.
I think 2 people is okay. Yeah,
okay, so streaming's okay. We gotta. Well, you never know.
Next on the list here, patreon.com/supergamerboys. If you haven't heard of this, which I don't know how you haven't, because we talk about every show, but for this $1 a month, you can go over there, support us, and you get the episodes early. So tonight, after we finish recording, usually around, I don't know, maybe when I finish editing around 10 o'clock or something, 9:30, 10 o'clock, ad-free, early access to the audio version of the podcast.
If you were already paying for that, you'd be seeing this sweet stash early.
No, you wouldn't see it. There's not the video. There's no way I can export a video that fast. My computer's not that powerful. You just get the audio.
Okay, I did not see how much I know.
But I might post a picture on the Patreon tonight with the thing. So that's what I'll do. I'll post a picture of myself, a selfie of the mustache. So while you're listening, you can look at this picture of me and
don't stare at it, because that'd be weird.
Stare at it, I guess. That's horrible. And we also have higher tiers that you can support us at, where you can support us and get some more perks, such as like access to the show notes, shout outs on the show, like our Patreon sponsors this week, Bill Bird, Julie Bates, and Dustin Long. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. We also have a producer tier, but No one's man enough to take us up on that one.
Or woman enough, or transgender enough
to pitch us a segment for that show. So
you can't really like call out sexist. You can't do that anymore.
Okay, no one is human enough to do it. Everyone's a bunch of sissies.
Now androids are going to be pissed at us. Good stuff, man. Gonna get all that hate mail.
We're also part of the HP Video Game Podcast Network. Go check them out. There's a lot of cool podcasts on our network. And then this week, I'm going to shout out supergamerboys.com/Twitch because that's where we're going to be streaming on Friday. So go over there.
Yes.
supergamerboys.com/Twitch and follow us ahead of time and turn on the notifications. And when we go live, you'll know immediately.
You know what? I got to say it. I don't know if you're aware, but ever since you got this mustache thing going on, dude, you have like a charisma you never had before. You've got an energy, Garrett, that I have not heard coming from you in the last almost year and a half we've been doing this thing. Brother, this is like a new you, man. I hope you're feeling it, folks, because I'm feeling it.
What do you say we get into some news here?
Okay, if it's time, then it's time for the nerdy nudes.
All right, first news story here. How the industry is reacting to E3's cancellation. My mouse isn't working because I forgot my mouse pad at home. But here's the deal. Last week, right after a day or two after our show was recorded, they announced E3 is officially canceled. The ESA held out as long as it could, but in the end, it was inevitable. E3, the highest I thought I said profitable, and then I was like, nope. Highest profile video game show in North America was canceled today because of the global coronavirus health emergency. This comes from IGN by Andy Chalk over there. Sorry, PC Gamer, not IGN. The shutdown is bad enough in its own right, but making matters worse, it comes in the wake of growing questions about E3's relevance at a time when broadband internet has enabled game publishers to reach their customers directly. In fact, industry analyst Doug Krutz told the Wall Street Journal that the coronavirus could prove to be an existential turning point for E3. If publishers are able to adequately reach their fans directly through online presentations, the absence of the show could end up demonstrating beyond any doubt that it's simply not relevant anymore. So obviously, this is a huge deal. E3 is shutting down. Not only for the economy of like LA and the whole convention thing and plane tickets selling and hotels selling, all this stuff. Indie developers aren't getting exposure, and there aren't these like deals that are like E3's trade show where people are making deals, and indie games are getting publicity and showcased and seen on the show floor, exposure. So all these crazy things happening. And then this article is mainly about how not only that, but what happens when all these companies that have been for years doing press conferences at E3 realize, oh, we could all do this from home through a Twitch stream and announce all this stuff. Like, I don't know. That just seems like a pretty bad omen for the future of E3.
Yeah. It's weird that the coronavirus is touching all facets of life, and video games and even video game industry is not being not affected. I mean, they're
something
one of the major
something
ones
as stupid as video games, because it's one of those things where like we understand. Like I know we've been talking about coronavirus a lot, and it's one of those things like video games are just stupid little things that don't really matter. So in the grand scheme of things, how it's affecting video games doesn't matter because it's affecting the world on a much more serious level. But I think the reason I like to keep talking about it is because, I mean, to me, it's just crazy. Like, that it would affect something as dumb as video games, but something is, that's a lot of money. That's a huge hit on like economy and like what happens if E3 like disappears here? Like, isn't that crazy? So
many different large events have been canceled, and we keep hearing new ones every day. And just earlier today,
South by Southwest and all these conferences for video game stuff.
UFC recently said that they're still going to hold their fights.
Movie theaters
without audiences.
Movies are getting delayed or straight up canceled.
Or being given digitally. That's another thing. WWE just announced shortly before we started the podcast today, they announced that their biggest event of the year, their Super Bowl of wrestling, WrestleMania, that takes place on April 5th, instead of being in front of 70,000 people in Tampa, and that brings $100 million plus revenue to the Tampa area. Instead of that, they're actually going to do it at their performance center in front of no audience because they still want to carry the show on and provide entertainment for people who are stuck at home. I mean, it's affecting everybody.
It's crazy. So yeah, with this E3 announcement though, like, hey, we are canceling for this year, not even just postponing, like GDC postponed. Granted, I don't think that's actually going to happen. Like GDC is so small, like they're on such a shoestring budget. I feel like they kind of might be screwed to even be able to come back later. Mm-hmm. But with E3 shutting down, a lot of publishers are coming out and they're talking about doing their own things. So here's some of the companies so far that have mentioned they're going to do their own digital event. So Phil Spencer from Xbox, E3 has always been an important moment for Team Xbox. Given this decision this year, we'll celebrate the next generation of gaming with the Xbox community and all those who love to play via an Xbox digital event. Details and timing are in the coming weeks. Ubisoft came out and said that they are exploring other options for a digital experience that will allow us to share all the exciting news we have planned. Stay tuned for more. EA came out and says they will clearly the situation is evolving by the day, and we've been reviewing how it will change our plans for EA Play 2020. So they're even talking about, they're going to come out with details soon. Devolver Digital is talking about doing a direct live stream. THQ Nordic even said they're looking at things. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think even Square Enix came out, talked about. So all the big names who normally have their own conferences are coming out and saying, hey, we're doing something. Like I think Nintendo came out at one point too. Like, I mean, their thing is always digital. I don't think they really have a main thing there anyways. So
I know they're not completely interconnected, but being that it's about the coronavirus and what's happening with E3, we have 2 new generations of consoles coming out this year at the end of the year. What do you think this is going to do to that? I mean, yes, it's only springtime, but you've got to imagine that those systems need to start being created and put together and manufactured. And this would be the time when that's happening.
Yeah.
So do you think that that's going to affect because they're looking at holiday of 2020 for both of these systems coming out? You think it's going to affect the time when those systems come out? Are they going to get pushed back, in your opinion?
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, I've already seen tweets online, nothing solid from any game publishers, but there's a lot of journalists who are kind of hinting at different things that even games might start getting delayed. So people are like, the ones that are coming out the end of March and April and even like the beginning of May are probably okay.
Please, Last of Us 2.
Well, see, Last of Us 2 is just outside that window, but people are talking about like, hey, at this, because they're still working on it. The game hasn't gone gold yet, which once it's gone gold, then you can almost guarantee it's coming out. But so they're saying like, okay, so basically April and the end of March here, games are probably good. They're coming out. But even like, the end of May, so Last of Us 2 and some of like Cyberpunk, all these other games, they could start getting delayed. And if that's the case for games, I can't imagine for consoles when there's still so much research and development going on. And then, like you said, manufacturing. The virus started in China, where a lot of these, at least was first founded in China. A lot of the peripherals and pieces and parts for these consoles are all made there. So, and those factories have been shut down for months now, like a couple months. So as sad as it is to say, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if either the console, I think last resort it would get not canceled, postponed or delayed. I think what they might try to do though is if, because I think they want to hold, they've announced the holiday release date. I think they want to hold to it. So if it's something where in the next like month or two, the coronavirus kind of tapers off and we're good to go, I think it'll still come out. But what'll happen is it's going to be extremely limited numbers of them. So it's going to be impossible to get your hands on one, basically. Like people, it's going to be like when the
PS... have the Nintendo Classic.
Like when the Wii, or the Classic, or like when the Wii came out, or even like I remember the 360 and PS3, stuff like that. Like there's all these shortages, so people were buying them and then reselling them for crazy profits. But I think the coronavirus is still affecting the world longer than 2 months, so like 3, 4, 5 months. I think at that point, that's when it gets delayed to like, yep, sorry, new consoles aren't coming until 2021, which would be crazy. But it all depends on how soon we can kind of get things under control. Because at this point, I think at worst, it'll just be hard to get your hands on one. It'll just be limited supply.
It already seems to be under control in China. It seems like they have tapered off now that, especially as the weather's going to start getting warmer, it should be dying off. When it's cold, that's when people are sharing it a whole lot more.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, unfortunately though, like we don't have any sort of cure at this point. Like it's only tapering off because of this incredibly strict isolation quarantine. That's what am I trying to say? Like strategies that are going into play all around the world. But again, like that could flare right back up again if everyone's like, oh cool, we're good to go, everyone go back outside. Then the next thing you know, we're just back at where we were like a month ago. At least in China, China was a month ago. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm no doctor, so I don't really feel qualified to keep talking about.
You sure?
Coronavirus
you
specifically.
You look like it with that mustache, buddy. You look like a sweet doctor of love. You know what I mean?
No, please. I'm
just saying. Let's just start calling you that from now on. It's Garrett, the doctor of love. But you got to keep the stash, though.
No, never. So yeah, with E3, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I think all the game companies are going to be fine for the most part, other than, again, like I mentioned, some of those indie developers who's not going to be able to make those deals and meet people and show off their game. But for the big companies, we're still going to get some cool press conferences, and I think it'd be really cool to still to be able to talk about them and maybe even do live reactions and stuff. But I'm worried about E3. Like, yeah, again, like if companies are like, oh shoot, we didn't need E3 this last year, why would we need them this year, kind of thing. Like next year, maybe that's the end of E3.
That'd be a real shame, because I know we look forward to it every year, and I know we were really hoping to be able to go
1 year, yeah,
and go, watch it. Not this year, but we were hoping to be able to go at some point. And I'd still like that to be something that we can look forward to.
Maybe one day, but until then, we'll just have to be happy with this new Horizon Zero Dawn port coming to PC. This is from Joe Scarbles over at IGN. You like that little transition there?
I did. You were very good. You're very well practiced. I was like, whoa, where did you get that from?
I've learned a lot. I'm a very wise man.
Thank you, buddy. Wait, you're talking about your dad, huh? I hate you so much. Right?
I was just talking about general life experience, but
you said a wise man.
My dad's pretty.
Me for a moment.
I said I'm a very wise man.
Oh, I thought you said I learned it from a very wise man.
No.
I took it as you were talking about me.
No, definitely not. A PC version of Horizon Zero Dawn has been confirmed after months of rumors. In an interview with PlayStation Blog, head of PlayStation Worldwide Studios and ex-managing director of Guerrilla Games, Herman Holst, announced the news. Yes, I can confirm that Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC this summer. There will be more information coming from Guerrilla from the new studio directors, Michael Vanderloo, I think it's Lou, maybe, JB Van Beek and Angie Smets pretty soon. We first heard about PC port in January when anonymous sources said it would be the first exclusive game from a Sony first-party developer to make the jump. So yeah, that's basically the gist of. Then I forgot these other statements from Herman Holst there. I think it's important that we stay open to new ideas of how to introduce more people to PlayStation and show people maybe what they've been missing out on. And to maybe, he uses the word maybe a lot, and to maybe put a few minds at ease. Releasing one first-party AAA title to PC doesn't necessarily mean that every game now will come to PC. In my mind, Horizon Zero Dawn was just a great fit in this particular instance. We don't have plans for day-and-date PC releases, and we remain 100% committed to dedicated hardware. So just a little, put all you Sony extremist at ease that not like these games aren't coming to PC.
Extremists
no, not to listen to our pod. Yeah. Everyone's Xbox fans, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I immediately after this interview went live, I saw on Twitter this guy posted. I don't know the guy, but everyone was sharing it and just like basically like talking about how stupid this guy is. But someone on Twitter tagged Herman Holst and PlayStation and Guerrilla Games and all these people, and was just like what a terrible way to spend my birthday hearing this news and blah 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 blah. Like he was like ranting and raving in the tweet, and then he attached a video of him like scanning his office, and he literally like it was just the aftermath. He didn't show it happening, but it shows like his PS4 is like on the ground. Like he chucked it across the room. It was all smashed to pieces. His his desk was flipped over. Like the guy, this person literally threw a temper tantrum at the news of Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC because he was all pissed off because, you know, what's the point of having PlayStation exclusives when they're not exclusive anymore? Like, that's why I buy it on PS4, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I thought I was a pretty huge like Sony fanboy, but
yeah,
I guess not, because I was actually stoked when I heard this.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, right.
It ends up opening up a new game that people who are traditionally Xbox gamers or are PC gamers who've never played Sony games to an absolutely phenomenal exclusive Sony game.
And it's going to entice them in. It's going to suck them in.
Absolutely draw them in because it's a beautiful game. It's so well played. As a matter of fact, this is the game that I've been playing for a while. But unfortunately, my PlayStation Now account froze on me, and my game is locked out at the moment. And I was telling
Garrett,
pay up,
sucker.
I don't want to pay. I don't
want to pay. $60 for an entire year. That's the price of a game. That's like buying a game.
Don't have.
But you get over 800 games.
I need that money earmarked for Fortnite skins. So it's
you don't. That's the thing. What if you just told your son, "Hey, Daddy's buying a year of PlayStation Now"?
He's bigger than me.
There's games on.
He throws up on me when he's mad.
There's games on there that he would enjoy. Just be like, hey, check out one of these. I'm sure you'll like one of these 800 plus games on here.
What's funny is I pulled up Phineas and Ferb game on the PlayStation Now, and he's like, that game's trash. He loves Phineas and Ferb. He played it for a little bit, and he's like, Dad, this game is the greatest game ever. And it's like a stupid platformer. And he loved it.
That's funny. But yeah, no, I'm stoked about this because it's exposure to PlayStation. Like, honestly, I think a lot of like, I don't know, in my mind, it's like, I don't think a lot of Xbox players, obviously they get what they want. Like they want that certain ecosystem, and that's why they buy Xbox. So I don't fault them for that. But sometimes I wonder like if they really realize what they're missing out on.
Can we pull back the curtain on a conversation we had earlier today when we were talking about
maybe I don't know what you're talking about, but sure.
I'm not going to make something up. Okay. I promise. Like, I'm not going to throw you under the bus. No, earlier today I brought up to you the whole purchasing an Xbox thing. So right now, Xbox One X is $300 for an Xbox One X. That's so inexpensive for a great system. And there is a small part of me that's like, man, I should kind of just think about biting the bullet. The only thing that's keeping me from going for that, because I was like, what's keeping us from looking at the X series? And because I saw the specs and they're amazing. We'll be covering it later, but there's some really great specs. Mm-hmm. But I feel like where Sony has me is in those gripping stories that they're exclusive games similar to Horizon Zero Dawn that I don't see come out of the Xbox camp. Mm-hmm. And I just, Sony constantly delivers. Sometimes they fail, but most of the time they really deliver on those great games.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing that's keeping me from the Xbox. But I do see the benefit that Xbox seems to be the more social platform. That seems to be where everybody is really gathering and playing a lot of the multiplayer games.
Yeah. No, Xbox is a great platform, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting when this comes out when, and obviously this isn't coming to Xbox, so sorry, Xbox players, but a lot of Xbox players do kind of go back and forth. At least a lot of the ones I know go back and forth between Xbox and PC. Like very honestly, I feel like rarely are they just Xbox.
Do you exclusives. Like to play hypothetical games, Garrett? I like to play hypothetical games. Okay. Hypothetically, the X series comes out $400. $400 for this brand new X series. And the PlayStation 5 is $600. What do you choose in the next generation? I already know the answer, but I'm curious if you know the answer. I know what you'll choose.
I definitely stick with PlayStation.
Absolutely. Isn't that funny? That even given something like that, you don't want to see a chasm in price like that, obviously.
No.
Because that won't be an easy choice for everyone. It really won't. Because most of the time, especially right now, people are going to be frugal. They're going to, okay, where's the deal? Just Game Pass is a great deal. So, I can always the cheaper console and go for Game Pass or whatever. But I mean, isn't it funny that like you would look at it and go, $200 more? I'd still go with the Sony. And I honestly believe that's what you do. I know that I would as well.
Because there's just the content there to back it up. Again, like I could go cheaper and go with the Xbox, and a lot of the people I know and a lot of my friends are on there, so I'd be able to play with games with people. Mm-hmm. But I would honestly would have so much like FOMO and like feel so like depressed, but to not be able to experience all the awesome like PS5 exclusive games. And because there's actually an article, we're not going to talk about it today, but PlayStation put out a statement saying like, yeah, we are going to focus on those single player experiences for PS5. That's going to continue to be in our DNA. That's our thing. And yeah, so I just like, I would hate to miss out on those incredible stories.
And I read that article too. And I think that article kind of lays out the way that Sony players, at least in you and me, versus a lot of Xbox players, how they play games. So one of the things that we spoke with recently on our Discord, if you can go check us out on Super Gamer Boys Discord, is somebody was talking about how they liked, I think it was Kajoma, was talking about how he likes to socialize with his friends, a la like a couch co-op, by playing multiplayer games online. And I come from a totally different perspective. It was so neat to hear Kajoma's perspective on that, because I'm an older dude who I work in a very social environment where I speak with people all day long. Yeah. And I talk a whole lot.
Same here.
And by the end of the day, I'm tired of entertaining people. I'm tired of talking to people. I don't even want to see my family.
I just want to put my headset on and turn on the PlayStation
and go get lost in an awesome story. And so that's I want to be entertained and challenged through this awesome storytelling, and see cool vistas and travel to places I would never see with my own eyes, And so the idea of playing with other people, it sounds fun, but I'm like, I already do all of my socializing before I get home. Yeah. so I'm kind of done socializing. So it's just an interesting way that we'd look at games differently.
Yeah, some interesting perspectives. But yeah, so I'm excited that this is coming to PC because, like I was saying, I was mid-sentence when you interrupted me. But
dude, I love it when I do that.
A lot of people I know who, play on Xbox also, I feel like go back and forth between PC. So I think this will be some cool crossover for some of them to realize, like, hey, PlayStation has some cool stuff. And I mean, you guys are getting, PC is getting Death Stranding in June. Like, that's already been announced. So you're getting 2 PlayStation exclusives. One of them is an actual Sony first-party game. Horizon Zero Dawn. Death Stranding isn't technically a PlayStation first party game, but it basically is. Like, they bankrolled most of it. Yeah. Like, that's why they got the exclusivity for so long. But yeah, just to kind of hound on Xbox a little bit longer here. This next news article, Call of Duty Warzone is free on PC and PS4, but not on Xbox One. So this is really just, there's not much to this article other than, and it's really just all about semantics and really technical, like, okay, yeah, I see what's going on here. On PC and PS4, you don't have to have any sort of online subscription to play it. You can just download it and play it. On Xbox One, you have to have an Xbox Live Gold subscription in order to play the game online, which it's an online-only game, so you need to have it. You can download it on your console, but you go to fire it up, can't even play it. And I don't know, I just thought it was an interesting thing. Like I said, this is totally just to take a jab at Xbox people, because I know we have a lot of Xbox fans who listen to this show. So this one's for you. And I just, if anything, I was just kind of shocked by that. And I'm curious, do you think that's something they change? Because it seems kind of ridiculous. I know on PS4, you can play Fortnite without an online subscription. You don't have to have an online to play Fortnite. You don't have to have one to do Warzone. You don't have to have one to, all these free-to-play games.
Yeah. Apex is free on PlayStation.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff
don't have to have an online subscription. Online subscription's only necessary for if you want to play The Division or Call of Duty, the base, multiplayer version of it and stuff like that.
I don't think it's going to last. I think it's going to be a temporary thing, especially if Xbox fans, if they start revolting, complaining enough, you'd be surprised. Anytime that they feel like their bottom line is going to get messed with, they will quickly like back down and like, oh, we want to make you happy.
Yeah, it's just interesting because that's like their whole mantra is like we're for the gamers now. Like we're here, like we're to take care of you. You know, they're sweet little babies.
But it will be crossplay though.
It already is.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's
No,
fantastic.
Warzone's crossplay.
Have you played with anybody yet? I know you had talked with one of our listeners about.
Yeah. So, well, in the Discord, every time I talk about it, and it's just crickets. Like the other day, twice I think. There's a couple days where I was like, "Hey, I'm playing right now. If anyone wants to play," no one. For a Sunday, I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday actually. Maybe I sent a message on the Discord. Hey, anyone want to play? Nothing. Crickets. Except for Derek. Derek's the only one who's played with me, and I'll talk about what you've been playing. But just a little quick, little teaser. I'm really liking it. It's a lot of fun.
And it's based off of the Modern Warfare. This is the multiplayer version of the Modern Warfare game that they just.
Well, there's already multiplayer in Modern Warfare. This is just the battle royale.
Oh, okay.
But but you don't have to have Modern Warfare in order to get Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone can download Warzone, but it's based off of like the Modern Warfare engine and all the weapons and stuff like that. Like technically, when you like in order for me to play Warzone, because I bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare on a disc, I have to pop the disc in, which sucks because I wish I could just like play without it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there's any way to fix that unless I completely delete everything off my hard drive and re-download it and purchase it and all this junk. So, but yeah, if you were to download it because you don't own Modern Warfare,
right?
It would just download just the battle royale version of it, and it's pretty sweet. But so that's that. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Why is Xbox, make you have Xbox Live Gold? Doesn't make sense. I'm gonna jump around the news stories here. Let's stick on the Xbox train here. Today, this comes from IGN. Go search for this. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this is by Joe Screbbles over at IGN. Xbox Series X, full specs revealed. So IGN has a great write-up, and then also Digital Foundry on YouTube. If you go to their page, they also have a full 20-minute long video, literally just all of the most detailed, driest information you want to know about the Xbox.
It's technical information that you want to understand.
But
and what you do, it's not really necessary or pertinent to how well it's going to play.
Right. But some of the things we learned from it, we did learn 3 things that I wanted to touch on. The first thing, that there is a mysterious port in the back of the console, and we saw those pictures a couple months ago. I was like, what's that little rectangle plug? A lot of people thought, maybe it's just for the dev kit or something. Maybe, that's the diagnostic port, and maybe the model that goes out to the public won't have that. It'll just be flat or whatever. Well, that's not the case. That port is actually basically a giant memory card slot. So Microsoft, and this is in the Digital Foundry video, they have these memory cards that are about, an inch and a half long, about an inch and a half wide, little rectangle things that will slide in the back of your Xbox in that slot. And it's a little memory card, but it's a solid state drive memory card, which is super fast. That's the hard drives that are inside the Xbox One Series X, or not an Xbox Series X are going to be solid state drives. And basically it's this super fast flash memory, which allows you to load games very quickly and all that type of stuff. And when I heard that they were going to make a proprietary external memory card a la PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era, I was like, what the heck is this? That just seems so backwards to me. So opposite of what Xbox is going for again, with the whole hey, this is for the gamers, we're going to make everything easy and accessible, blah, blah, blah. But
they're going to make money on selling proprietary.
That's the thing. They're going to make bank on this, because you think about I can go to Amazon right now, buy a little 1 terabyte solid state drive for a laptop for $80 to $90 for a cheaper one. I guarantee, and this is even smaller, even more compact, and it's supposed to have its own little processor, all this stuff in there. I would not be surprised if that thing's $250, $300. Seriously, they could charge whatever the heck they want, because it's a little proprietary memory card that you have to have if you want to add external. Now, you don't.
So you can't have a hard drive?
So I guess I misspoke a little bit there. You can still use external hard drives, but you can't, from what I understood from the video, it won't let you install games if you use USB. It's more just for, you can install games on it, but if you want to play that game, it makes you transfer. It's really confusing. It'll let you install games on there, but you can't play games off there, if that makes sense.
No.
So basically, say I have Halo, the hard drive on my console is completely full, and and it has I have 15 games on there or whatever, because games are going to be massive. Like the file sizes are just going to get even bigger and bigger. So I have 10 games on this on my main console hard drive. I have my little memory card. Never mind. I have my plug-in USB hard drive. Plug that in. I can install let's say Halo Infinite on this external hard drive, but because it's not up to their standard of the solid state drive with the speed and how quickly and everything, it won't let you play it off there. What you'll have to do is you'll literally have to either delete something or transfer something on your hard drive to the external, and then if you want to play that game, you'll transfer it over in order to play it. So that you can't just click play, and if it's on your external hard drive, it'll let you play it, basically. I know it sounds confusing.
It's convoluted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's convoluted. You should just be able to plug in a hard drive and play whatever games you have installed in there. But now, if you have it digital on there, because there's a certain standard, a certain bar they want to hit. When you jump into the game, they want that game to load in 10 seconds, not a minute and a half, which that's the second point of this thing. I was going to talk about load times. But with using an external hard drive, it all depends on what kind of hard drive you buy. If you buy a solid state, okay, you're going to get a little bit faster speeds. Not as fast, though, because USB slows it down. USB isn't as fast as a straight port right in the back of the Xbox, stuff like that. So it's all quality control. That's the reason they're doing it. They want to make sure when you play a game on there, it's the best experience, no matter what. But I just think it's dirty when they're going to be able to charge $200, $250 for a memory card.
Yeah. Let's hope that they don't do that. Obviously, that won't happen with PlayStation 5.
I guarantee you it will. I guarantee you it will.
Right. That'd be our luck.
So point 2 from this article was, load times. There's actually a video on this IGN article that shows on the left, it's an Xbox One X playing, I think it's, I don't know what game, Wasteland 2 or something like that, a 3. On the right, it's a Series X. They both hit start at the same time. And the loading screen on the right, literally within, I think it's less than 10 seconds, boom, they're in the game, which is, Wasteland is a huge, or maybe it's State of Decay, after one of those two. It's a huge open world game. Loads the whole world in 9 seconds, 10 seconds. The one on the left, the Xbox One X, it's up there for a minute. I don't know, maybe even a little more.
It was full on a minute. After it was a
and
very
it shows the console on the right, the guys walking around and playing and doing missions and stuff like that, and the console on the left is still loading. It's holy cow.
Yeah, so, it's a huge difference where it's very noticeable. Wow, those load times.
Imagine jumping into Red Dead 2.
Yeah, you play a Red Dead 2 and you see that load screen happening sometimes for a couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, I even my PS4 Pro, I got stuck on that for I think it was 3 or 4 minutes one time. I was able to go to the bathroom, wash my hands, go get a drink from the kitchen, come back, sit down, check Twitter, and then finally the game come on. Red Dead's horrible, but imagine on the next gen consoles how quickly. I don't know.
You gotta be careful about saying Red Dead's horrible. It's still the most amazing game.
I was talking about the load times.
Okay.
It is pretty.
It's the greatest game of all time.
Pretty crappy game, but but yeah, so that was pretty dang cool. I'm excited about that. If that's what we can expect from PS5 as well. I'm stoked.
Oh, PS5 will be instantaneous.
Well, they already, so back in
they've got the exact same
they did a demo,
right?
did a demo last year with they didn't release it to the public, but privately to some people, some news outlets. They showed them a video of PS4 loading Spider-Man and then PS5 loading Spider-Man, and it was just boom, crazy fast. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what comes next. Oh, and then the last thing, here we go. Here's that jab at Xbox. I gotta get one last swing in there before we finish up here. The Xbox Series X controller features a USB port, but AA batteries make a return. This comes from Windows Central by Matt Brown over there. I really just wanted to point out, Xbox, what are you doing over there? Why are you still using AA batteries?
Guys, I just want to point out that it's Garrett that's saying all the hateful Xbox stuff. I love all my Xbox fans. It's really cool.
Like my
Mustachio
PS3
Garrett is a jerk.
My PS3 had like a built-in rechargeable battery. My PS4 did. I never had issues with batteries dying. It works great. I still get like super long battery life. And here you are still having to go to Walmart and buy your AA Duracells.
I will
like,
say when I saw that part of the article, I tripped out because it does seem so archaic that they're still using AA batteries.
Right?
And why not just have a rechargeable battery? It doesn't make a lot of sense. You've put all this money, all this effort, all this energy into this amazing new system.
Yeah.
In the X series, and then you're going to make sure that the controller has AA batteries.
And I know you're all going to say, well, Garrett, actually, there is a rechargeable battery pack you can buy for the controller, and then it will charge through the USB port, and you don't have to buy AA's. And what I say to you is, they got you. Like that's probably cost like what? It's the price of a controller for this stupid little battery.
And they do have on the back of the controller the USB-C plug, the port.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So they will be able to plug it in.
But I think you missed my point.
I did miss your point.
With PlayStation, the rechargeable battery is built in. With Xbox, you can buy a rechargeable battery pack, but again, it's the price of another controller. So if you want a controller, actually, I don't know. I haven't fact-checked that. I could be wrong on the price of it. But either way, they're getting money from you that PlayStation isn't getting from you. PlayStation just gives you a rechargeable controller, where Xbox sells you a $70 controller, and then is like, oh, plus it's another, okay, maybe it's only like $30 or $40 for this rechargeable battery pack that goes in the back.
Do you think it's that much more to build it in the way that Sony does it? Do you think it's that much more expensive?
No. I don't know why they're doing it. Yeah. Like, it's just ridiculous. The only thing I think of is just the only way it makes sense, the only way I can justify it in my mind is it's just to make it more, I don't know if this is the right word I'm thinking of, but like just accessible to people. If that makes any sense, like, hey, like any Joe Schmo can pull out AA batteries. Like, everyone has it. And then if you really want a rechargeable battery pack, then you can buy it. But like everyone has, but at the same time, like that doesn't make sense because if you have the cable, then you just plug it in and charge it. You don't need batteries. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And as somebody who's messed with quite a bit of stuff that has batteries in them,
no one ever has batteries. That's the other thing.
You run out.
You always need
one works and one doesn't.
You always need a battery, and you're like, "Where are the batteries? Oh, we used them up on the remote like 2 months ago. Why didn't we buy more? Because we didn't need them."
You're constantly dumping money into trying to get new batteries and replenish and replace. And wait, is that one a good one or is it a bad one? I don't know. We got to try it. It's just a pain in the butt.
Just give us.
Put the battery pack in there, folks.
Come on, Xbox. That's the end of my Xbox hate. I expect lots of tweets and lots of messages on the Discord after that one. So this last news story here, this comes from a real sketchy site. But it was featured on other news sites, but this is just the one I was able to find at a quick Google here. This is from Jack of All Controllers. It doesn't even have an author. So
we have not vetted this. We don't know if this is accurate.
Like I said, it's been featured on other news sites. Mm-hmm. I just, in the heat of the moment, because I Googled it like 2 minutes before we started recording, this is the first one I found because a buddy of mine shared it on Twitter. But I saw that other people have talked about it too. Ryan Baez over at Jack of All Controllers. Sources plus report. Sony has 2 Silent Hill and okay, so this is. It doesn't say this in the title. This is all rumors at this point, but the sources that they're getting these rumors from were in the past pretty dang spot on and reliable. So people feel like there's something here, but at the same time, I'm also going to say before I even get in the article, this sounds way too good to be true. So I honestly think this is probably a bunch of BS, but like I said, like the source who's saying this was right in the past, so you never know. Sony has 2 Silent Hill titles in development, Silent Hill Reboot at Japan Studio and Silent Hills at Kojima Productions. So, boom, that just blew all your minds. All of you guys who know anything about the Silent Hills thing and Kojima, how Kojima was originally working on Silent Hills at Konami, like that would be bizarre if he's now working on it at Kojima Productions, but here's how the story goes down. Here's the original story. Sony Interactive Entertainment is working on a pair of Silent Hills titles, according to Rely on Horror, which is another news site. Konami and Sony Interactive Entertainment are working together on these projects, with the development process looking like this. Silent Hill, the original PS1 title, will be rebooted by Japan Studios' Project Siren, the developers behind Siren and Gravity Rush. And Silent Hills, with an S at the end there, will be made by Kojima Productions, the original developers of the canceled PS4 exclusive, which is ironic. Like, yeah, they originally worked on it back in the day, and then Kojima got, left the company, and so it'd be really ironic for him to end up working on it again, but we'll see. The report states that Silent Hill has been in development for around a year now, and that Keiichiro Toyama and Akira Yamaoka will return to the project. As for Silent Hills, the Hideo Kojima-directed horror title starring Norman Reedus has apparently resumed talks between both Konami and the PlayStation giant, and they are looking to be all ready to go. Jack of All Controller's own sources close to Sony has also confirmed to us that Konami is actually open to making Silent Hills restart development, so it's likely to happen. Both games will end up being exclusive to PS5, though. Details are just as scarce as Reliant Horrors, so we aren't really able to add more details besides, yes, to our knowledge, as well, these games are happening. So was the original story, and then this came out of nowhere. Update: an apparent employee from Konami back in January on 4chan, and then it says, stick with me here, folks, I'll explain later why this is being reported on, says that Sony wants to buy Silent Hill, Castlevania, and Metal Gear from Konami and have Hideo Kojima involved in both Metal Gear and Silent Hill. Castlevania will apparently receive a full-on reboot at Japan Studio in the style of Bloodborne and Castlevania Lords of Shadows. Just to tell you how much Sony cares, unlike Konami, the Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood PS4 ports were done by Sony and Interactive Entertainment's own studios. That should tell you that they are passionate enough to try and get the IP. Now, why are we reporting on 4chan Post? Since this information is lining up with information heard from both Reliant Horror and later verified on our end from our own sources, this news dump seems to be actually valid. We anticipate hearing word on this in a post-PS5 reveal world. We're not obviously saying that this is going to happen, but it seems like they're actually trying to give these IPs another chance at prospering. And I really wanted to read that last sentence because, yeah, we are not saying this is going to happen, but it seems really likely that PS5 cares about this and wants this to thrive.
Yeah.
So with all that to say, it's a bunch of crazy rumors. But I got to tell you, when I saw that headline about, first Silent Hills and then with the updated headline about Metal Gear, I literally the
little boy inside of Garrett was not now.
Just shaking in the seat. Like I thought I was going to take off like a rocket out the sky, like blow through my roof, just like with excitement, just like, yes.
Yeah, when you first started telling me about it earlier today, you were telling me about this and you talked to me like an 8-year-old who ate too much cake at a birthday party. You literally, I'm like, slow down, breathe.
Can you imagine though? Imagine, because right now Konami is just sitting on these IPs. They have Metal Gear, they have Castlevania, they have Silent Hill, they have Contra, and they're just chilling over there making their was it pachinko machines? Is that what they're called? The little like ding 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 ding, like you drop the whatever, and like that's all they do. That's all they make right now.
Yeah.
And it's such a waste. Like they're using those IPs, like they're making Metal Gear pachinko machines and they're making Castlevania, and it's like, why not just make a real game?
They can still do that, but imagine if they were able to license out all the stuff to Sony directly, and Sony be able to utilize Kojima Productions to get those Silent Hill games going, to get Metal Gear Solid games going.
Yeah, and that's, you don't say it like that. What? You don't know what you're missing out. You say like it's garbage game.
I never said what. Why? Hear it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Is that mustache messing up your hearing?
I'm honestly like offended. Like I really like that. Actually hurt me a lot when you said it like that.
I love metal whatever.
I want you to apologize. Clipskin, I won't move on with the show until you apologize.
Apologize to
me.
To you?
For the way you said Metal Gear.
I'm sorry that I said Metal Gear Solid like I had crap in my mouth. It tasted really, really bad. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm genuinely wholly sorry that I besmirched the good name of Snake Pimple Skin and Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid. Is that better? You excited now?
I just don't want you to ever say the name again. That's the other stipulation. You're not allowed to ever talk about it again. So I guess we're never doing a Metal Gear story. Sorry, guys. You don't understand. Like, I am Metal Gear. Like, that's like my entire being, my entire persona is based around that. So when you make fun of Metal Gear, that's like
I'm making fun of you.
That's like stabbing. Like I literally had like, it was hard to breathe there for a second. I felt like someone stabbed a dagger right under the.
You need two things
sternum
right now. You need therapy, and you need like a sweet hug, dude. You want to come in right now?
Don't touch me. You probably
Shirts are optional, buddy.
Probably have coronavirus or something.
You know it. Shirts are optional.
Yeah, so this is all completely speculative rumor, but man, am I hyped if this is even slightly possible, even just for Silent Hills.
Silent Hill game, the first one of the best games I've
ever played. For PS1, yeah.
And I just love
so
it.
So imagine a remake of that on top of a new one from Hideo Kojima, based off of like the PT demo he did. Like that would be
especially if they did crazy. like you're saying, a reboot. So if they did what was done with the Resident Evil game,
which I think is the idea. I think that's
amazing. Just strip it down to bare bones and build up.
Retell the story with just like upgraded gameplay and graphics. Like
it would be amazing. It would be absolutely amazing.
Be crazy.
It probably would make absolutely no sense because Hideo Kojima, no sense whatsoever.
Well, no, he wouldn't work on Silent Hill. He's working on Silent Hills. Silent Hill reboot.
Oh, that would be the sequel. That'd be the new sequel or whatever.
They haven't announced whether it's going to be a sequel or if it's like its own series or something. It's going to be separate. But no, so Silent Hill was being made by Japan Studios, which is a company that makes, I don't know, let me look it up here and give you a couple names. Studios. They have made Patapon, Gravity Rush, The Last Guardian, Astrobot Rescue Mission, Knack, Ape Escape, Shadow of the Colossus. They've made a lot of games.
Shadow of the Colossus, okay.
Yeah, they made a lot of games. Demon Souls. Yeah, they have lots of games. You get the point. A lot of older games. Honestly, they haven't really made anything recently, which is interesting. Other than the Shadow of Colossus remake, I think they worked alongside the company with that. But yeah, we will see. I'm excited.
Very cool.
Let's talk about some new releases from this last week. So first on the list, we have Neo 2 on PlayStation 4, March 13th. MLB The Show 20 on PlayStation 4. And then RBI Baseball 20 on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, iOS, and Android. They both come out on 17th. And then The Division 2 comes out on Stadia on March 17th. So there's that.
Yeah.
Stadia's getting something, I guess.
Yeah, it's good for them.
a year-old game, something that came out last year, finally coming to Stadia.
I feel so bad that we have turned so viciously against Stadia.
It's bad.
Where we were a year ago, though, in our hopes for it and our desires for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad already, like just from the original news, like that came out about it. And then once I got to play it myself, I'm like, oh no, like it really is bad. Like that's when I really just totally just like, nah, forget it, Stadia. Yeah, no, it's sad. But what you been playing this last week?
Well, do you believe in second chances? Because I really don't. And here's why.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah. I gave a second chance to Days Gone. I borrowed Days Gone from you.
Mm-hmm.
And because before I felt like I played through the first little run and was so disappointed in the game that I didn't play anymore. I just rented it from a Redbox and only had it for a night or two. And I just was really sad that it was unfinished and that it was so crappy. So I thought, well, maybe there's been patches. Maybe I just need to get a little further into the game. No. No. I tried desperately. I wanted desperately to love this game. And it has so much potential, but it's just such a clunky, janky game. It's not just that it's unfinished. It's that it's not fluid. I don't like the engine. It feels very clunky and crappy. And I'm really sad that I went into it with such high expectations because by all accounts, the commercials made it look like an incredible game. All the trailers made it look great. But everything in the gameplay is a giant letdown. And it's not a game that's worth playing. It's that bad.
Man.
Yeah, so I can't play any more of it, unfortunately.
That's crazy.
As far as any other games that I've been playing, I have not been playing anything, but I did start watching a new show with my wife that I am enjoying pretty much a lot, is The Colony, and that is on Netflix. And it's actually
we like that show a lot. As
great. The guy from Lost.
Lost,
the
yeah, that's
dude.
Sawyer from Lost. That's what we always say. Every time we see him in anything, oh, it's Sawyer. I don't know the actor's name.
I didn't know it was Sawyer. I just remember the guy from the long-haired, good-looking dude from Lost.
Trudy and I love that show. We're like halfway through season 3 or 4, whatever the newest one is. Like it's finally on Netflix, and
so we're on season 1 right now.
Okay.
And
season 1 and 2
great.
are great. Season 3 so far, that's why we're taking so long to get through it, because it's like it tapers off a little bit. But 1 and 2 are incredible. Like definitely watch 1 and 2.
And then this past week on Sunday, we had everybody was sick, obviously, but me and the family. I was flipping through the TV to see what was on Disney. I hadn't checked Disney Plus in a long time. And on Sunday, I noticed that Frozen 2 was on there.
Yeah, they just put on over the weekend.
And apparently they put it on there as a gift to the people who watch because they figured everybody's stuck at home.
Yeah.
So they did it 3 months early. I just happened to find it. And I'm like, whoa, Frozen 2 on Disney? I said that out loud. My wife was like, what, really? And the kids got wind of it, and they were like, hey, you guys want to watch it? They're like, oh, my gosh. And even my oldest came out and watched it, and we all cuddled on the couch and watched Frozen 2 for a couple of hours. It was phenomenal. Yeah. I never even watched the whole Frozen 1. I saw pieces and parts. Saw pieces and parts of the first one. But what a cute movie and so much fun. It was gorgeous. The songs are fantastic, and everybody was so happy. And as a dad, to like look over and see your whole family just enjoying something together as a family, with our age differences with my kids and stuff, it's a rarity. So it was a really special moment. So good on you, Disney Plus. Good on you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have been playing. Oh, by the way, I looked up the game engine that they use for Days Gone, and it actually surprised me because like Uncharted and Last of Us, they use like a proprietary engine that's, made by Naughty Dog. Let's see, Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding use the Decima engine, which was made by Guerrilla Games. Like everyone has their own proprietary game engines that they use. And I just Googled what game engine did Days Gone use. And they just use Unreal Engine, which is like a free game engine that like I could download and make games in.
That's why.
So, which just seems so bizarre. Why would a first-party studio owned by Sony not have their own proprietary engine that they use? Like, why would they just use a free, Unreal Engine that you can download off Google? Like,
dude,
that just seems crazy.
You know what it felt like, honestly? It felt like PlayStation Network games, the free PlayStation Network games that get put out. That's how it felt, janky like that.
I'm even looking up Spider-Man. Spider-Man uses Insomniac's proprietary engine that was previously used for Sunset Overdrive and modified to support 4K and HDR resolution. Yeah. So everyone else has their own proprietary engine, and then Sony Bend, the studio up there in Oregon, just was like, we'll just use Unreal Engine, which is like, people make everything from phone games to PlayStation to Switch games to everything. It's just like a kind of a free catch-all game. And granted, there's lots of support because it's free. There's lots of cool stuff that's available to people, but I don't know, it kind of blows my mind that they wouldn't have their own proprietary engine that they use. Okay, anyways, what I've been playing. Lots of Stardew Valley. I think I might have talked about it last week. Maybe I didn't. I'm getting the itch because the same day Doom Eternal comes out, Animal Crossing New Horizons comes out, which honestly, I already have it pre-ordered and I'm more excited about that. I'd rather be doing a stream about Animal Crossing New Horizons, but I think more people would rather watch, Zetch and I tear some demons apart than watch me like plant my garden and build my house in Animal Crossing.
Don't say that, because a lot of people would love to watch you plant your garden.
Well,
What?
So in preparing,
did you take that in a sexual way?
In preparing for in preparing for Animal Crossing New Horizons, I've been playing Stardew Valley on the Switch. It's a game that came out, I don't know, back in 2016 or something like that. It's on everything: PS4, Xbox, Switch, phones, I think even PC. It's such a fun game. I'm super addicted to it. Like, I've put so much time into just like cutting down trees and planting gardens and building relationships with people. Like, you can actually like build relationships with people and like marry someone and have kids. I was reading the wiki. This was really funny. I was laying in bed last night and I was on the Stardew Valley wiki, and I was like, laying next to Trudy. She's like asleep basically. Her eyes, she was awake, but her eyes were closed. She was trying to sleep. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And she's like, what? I'm like, did you know that in Stardew Valley, and she doesn't care because she doesn't play the game. I'm like, did you know in Stardew Valley, you can get married and have kids? And she's just like, crazy. No, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, that's the craziest thing.
I'm sure you'd be totally happy with your new Stardew Valley wife.
And she's just like, she just could not give a care in the world. But it was just so funny. She was just like, nah, I don't care. And I proceted to read stuff to her.
And she fell asleep. Like, it was only a few moments later that she was snoring and sawing logs.
No, I wanted to read something because it really made me laugh. Here we go. You can have children. This is from the wiki, StardewValleyWiki.com. You can have children only if you are married and have upgraded the farmhouse for the second time, which adds a nursery and an extra room. After you go to bed for the night, your spouse might ask, there's a 1 in 20 chance, if you want to have/adopt a child. You can answer yes or not now. Same-gender couples will adopt children, and opposite-gender couples will have biological children. You can only have 2 children, 1 male and 1 female. The gender of the first child is random, and the gender of the second child is the opposite of the first child. Children never grow up past the toddler stage. And I turn to Trudy, I'm like, that sounds like hell.
Yeah.
You will have the option to acquire a second child only after the first child has grown to the toddler stage. Once children are able to walk, hats can be placed on their heads.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I was reading this to her. I'm like, this is the most bizarre, like, night bedtime reading ever. To remove a hat from a child's head, select another hat in inventory and click on the child. The new hat will be retained in inventory and the child's hat will be removed. Then I scrolled down a little bit. At first I thought I was done. I'm like, okay, well, she doesn't really care about this. And then I saw this and I was like, no, I have to read this to my sweet wife.
Did you keep waking her up to like inform her of new information?
She opened her eyes at this point because she was like, this is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. And then I read this. There's a little category. There's different categories. There's biological children, adopted children, stages, blah, blah, blah. And there's a category that says dismissing children. Children can be dismissed late game by interacting with the dark shrine of selfishness inside the witch's hut. By offering the shrine a prismatic shard, it will allow players to turn children into doves, making them leave the farm forever. Once dismissed, children are gone for good and cannot be returned. Note, however, that this will open up the possibility of your spouse asking if you want to have children again after turning children into doves, ...
Oh my God.
So basically, yeah, you can have kids and they only grow to the toddler stage, and if you get sick of them, you just sacrifice them on the altar and they turn into a dove and you can just be childless again.
Okay. Are you married in the game?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm working on it though.
If you like it, you got to put a ring on it, right?
I'm working on it. I've only been there like a couple
been to
weeks.
a couple of bars.
I've only been there a couple weeks. I'm still getting to know some of the people in the town.
Sure.
But yeah, Stardew Valley is a great game. I'm loving it. I can't wait to have kids and then dismiss them, quote unquote, dismiss them.
Was this game put out by Hideo Kojima? Did he put this?
No, this is actually made by, I forget his name, but it's made by like one guy. Like he just makes it as like an indie game. He made it by himself at his home, just in his free time, and released it. And
sitting in his basement, surrounded by pictures of his mother.
You're horrible.
I'm just saying, that's what it sounds like. You think if she's like, being like kind of a troll and asking you to like have children, and you can like turn them into doves. You just have to, talk to the witch in the hut. I mean, come on, man.
I also play Call of Duty Warzone, as mentioned previously in the episode. This game, so like I said, no one would answer me. No one wanted to play with me except for Derek. Good old Derek reached out and he's like, you know what, Garrett, I will play with you. After 100 gigabyte download, I think it's massive. We were going to play like Thursday or Friday and we both like,
how is it that much?
I don't know, but he was downloading it. And then what happened is I downloaded it while I was at work during the day, but I didn't realize it wouldn't install until you turn on the PlayStation. So I got home and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to play. He's like, oh, I'm not ready yet. Maybe in a little bit. He's like, you go on without me. So I turned it on and then I'm like, nope, I'm stuck installing, and it installed for like over an hour, just installing everything, all the new updates and stuff. But this game is incredible. So there's actually two modes. There's just your standard Battle Royale mode. And then there's this other mode called Plunder. Honestly, I did 1 or 2 matches in Battle Royale and I'm like, I get the gist of this. I don't really need Battle Royale in my life right now. I don't really care about Battle Royale. I have a lot of better things to do in my time. So I haven't played the Battle Royale, but the other mode is called Plunder. And what that is you can drop solo or with 2 of you, or you can do teams up to 3, but 1, 2, or 3 people. Me and Derek, we're just a 2-man squad. You're dropped on the map with 100 other people. And the only goal of the game is to see who can make the most money in 30 minutes. When you die, you come back to life. You respawn. So you're not just dead. Like in Battle Royale, when you die, you're dead. Yeah. In Plunder, you keep respawning. Every time you die, you respawn. You come in, you parachute in, come in, whatever. Excuse me. And then, so you gain money by killing people. Like when you kill people, they drop stacks of cash and you run up on to their body and collect all the cash. You can get money by doing contracts, which there's different contracts. Like there's you can do there's a bounty contracts where all of a sudden you click the bounty and someone's username will pop up and they'll pop up on your map and you have to go hunt them down.
Wow. But
they know they're being hunted. Like that happened a bunch of times when we were playing the other night. On my screen, it'd be like, you're being hunted. And it wouldn't tell you who was hunting you, but this that you were being hunted. And it's the most terrifying thing. You just like get in the truck and just start driving. Like just drive as fast as you. Let's drive like up and hide in the mountains, like whatever you got to do.
Can you see the other person that's coming after you on the map?
No, you can't see them on the radar. Wow. You just know you're being hunted. And
wow. So
you can gain money by doing bounties. There's also like territory contracts, which means you have to go and like secure a location. So, they give you a contract like, oh, go to this building and just basically stand in the building for 15 seconds until you fill the bar and then you quote unquote secure it. And then you'll get like 80 grand in cash or whatever. And then I'm trying to remember if there's more contracts. I think those are the 2 main contracts that they have. But yeah, that's kind of the main way you get money is either by killing people and then by doing the contracts. If you die, you lose a big chunk of your money. Like I said, it falls on the ground and people can come steal it. If you want to secure your money so people can't, because there's a little like bar on the bottom, and as you collect cash, that bar starts filling up and it tops out at $1 million. I think whoever hits $1 million first would technically win. That's never happened in any of the games I've played. We got close one time. We got up to $880,000. Oh, wow. We were like in 2nd or 3rd place. But if you want to secure your cash so you don't lose it when you die, if you die, there's these hot spots around the map, just randomly placed around the map where there's these helipads for helicopters to land. And it's the most terrifying thing because they purposely place them in the middle of like a huge field so everyone can see you. Then you have to go run to it or drive up to it. You get out, throw a smoke grenade to call in the helicopter, and the helicopter takes a few seconds. Like it could take like 30 seconds. So you're sitting there like waiting, looking around like, oh shoot, like is someone going to come and get me? Like I'm out here in the wide open. Like someone could just pull a sniper out and like snipe me from across the map. Yeah. And then when it drops on like a little briefcase on a rope and you shove cash in there and it takes time, like you have to do it multiple times. Like you can only do it in like $25,000 increments, I think it is, or something like that. So like if you have like 500 grand, you're just like shove, like trying to get it in there. And
as
meanwhile,
one does.
And meanwhile, like people are coming, like, and you're shoving money in this duffel bag and you're like, please God, don't let me die here. Like, And then, so that's one way to do it. Or you can actually go to these stores or stores in the game where you can go purchase your own little hot air balloons, basically like a mini hot air balloon with a briefcase attached to it. And you can shove it full of money, and then it goes up. And once the helicopter or the balloon takes it, it's safe. So if you die, you don't lose that money. It's in the bank. So it's cool to, it's good to do that regularly. So that way, you don't get killed and lose like $500,000, which we did a couple times last night.
Did you win it all?
So like I said, that one game where we got like 880,000 and we were like second or third place, that's the closest we got to winning. There was some games where we were in first the entire time, and then somehow at the end, all of a sudden, like someone would do something and we'd be in like 10th place. And we're like, what the heck? Like someone must have killed someone big. Like if someone must have had a lot of cash and they weren't putting in helicopters, and then someone else killed them and stole all their money. Like got super lucky. Like the only thing I can think of. But this game is such a blast. Me and Derek played we played forever into the night. Like it was so much stinking fun. We're like, one more. Okay, one more. Okay, one more. Because it's one of those games too where you feel like you're like, I think we can figure out this time. I think we can get it. Like it got our the hooks in us, and I'm loving it. I highly recommend it. And like I've talked about in the Discord, if anyone out there wants to play, it's cross-play. So whether you have Xbox, PC, or PS4, we can all play together. It's free. Unless you're on Xbox and you have to have Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah. So it's free. So I'm going to go download it tonight.
Go do it. It's I'm going to. And much fun.
I'd like for us to get on there. Is there a possibility for us to stream something of the Super Gamer Boys playing from all of our own remote locations?
Potentially, yeah. We could probably figure something out.
Okay.
But
yeah, kind of fun.
It's a blast. It's a lot of fun. So go check it out.
To see how good I am with guns.
Yeah.
I'm
not very good. Yeah, I know. That's why I really don't want to play with you, but I will.
I know you don't. But the trash talking is so much fun.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the question of the show here. This comes from our Patreon sponsor, Dustin Long. He sent it to us through Discord. Remember, you can go to supergamerboys.com/Discord. Join us over there. We have a lot of fun chit chat, and we just started up a new discussion channel all about D&D. And
we all call him Dirty Dustin. What's up, Dirty Dustin?
Dirty Dustin, yeah.
Right, we call him that. All the guys at the shop.
Right. His question is, he sent us a news article. It's titled, Project xCloud has turned my phone into a portable Xbox, changing the way I play games. It was written by Mark Delaney over at Games Radar. So after sending us this article, which I recommend all you guys go read, so go Google that. Just type in Project xCloud has turned my phone into an Xbox or portable Xbox. Just on Games Radar, you'll find it real quick there. His question: after reading this, I thought it was an interesting point about couch co-op. What's your guys' take on it, and do you think it could become the best option in couch co-op in the future?
So in the article, just to preface it real fast, in the article, what it was the writer was talking about how he had a really fun time doing Project xCloud on his phone and being able to actually sit on the couch with his wife also playing, I think they were playing Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves on Xbox,
and so they're sitting there next to each other playing on their phones, playing this awesome open world game.
So Sea of Thieves is a multiplayer game, but you can only play, there's no local multiplayer. You have to be on separate consoles. And so he's saying, like, I'd be like, one of us would be in the living room, the other one would be in our son's room, and that's how we had to play it. And we had to talk over headsets. Yeah. It's like we're in the same house, and we have to talk over a headset. It's so stupid. Where now, he can be on his phone or his iPad or whatever playing Sea of Thieves on the couch, and his wife's on the TV on the Xbox, and like they're able to play multiplayer and sit side by side. So basically, this is creating couch co-op again.
That's what the author was insinuating, was this gave him back a feeling of couch co-op that he hadn't had since he was younger. And hey, is this the couch co-op that we've all been looking for? And Dustin, this is a great article. I really suggest that you guys go out and read it because it is a good article. And as a matter of fact, when Dustin posted this on our questions for the show portion of Discord, I immediately answered because I felt strongly about it. You're like, idiot, hold on, wait for it for the show.
I made a whole discussion channel on our Discord that's just hey, submit your questions and everything and topics here. And then so Dustin's like, okay, he drops something, and then JJ's like, I'm gonna answer it right here like a big dummy. Like, I'm like, no, this is to submit stuff for the
I
show.
felt like Dustin
JJ,
was
come on.
talking directly to me through the phone. And
Yeah.
he was reaching
That's
out
what
to
his-
me, and I was like,
He
"Oh,
didn't.
Dustin, I'll answer right now, buddy."
He didn't even tag you in. I don't know why.
That's what Dirty Dustin and I have like a thing.
Okay.
We don't even need. It's like no talking necessary.
Right,
you know
right,
what I
right.
mean?
But dude, yeah, no. When I read that article, I was like, I'd never even thought of that. Like, because we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Like, we both miss that
Yeah.
couch co-op. Like, because they don't make games like that before. Like, I grew up loving to play Call of Duty, or back then, before Call of Duty was really a thing, Medal of Honor was the thing on PS1 and PS2.
Yeah.
And playing Medal of Honor we had the multi-tap, because you could only do 2 players unless you had the multi-tap, then you could do 4 players. So you plug in this attachment and then plug the controllers into this attachment. It'd be me, my brother, my 2 cousins. We'd just play 4-player, like Medal of Honor, shooting each other, playing team deathmatch and stuff or whatever. And it was sort of like some amazing memories, or playing Sledstorm or Crash Team Racing and doing 4-player with a multi-tap on the couch together.
I had a lot of couch co-op with my little brother growing up. We were always playing, Nintendo. And then when I got into middle school, I was really big on couch co-op with the Sega Genesis. And so my best friend Dave would always come over to the house and play Genesis at my house. And then I would go stay the night at his house, and he had a Super Nintendo.
Nice.
So then we would go over there and play the Super Mario World and stuff like that. But it was all night long, and
Yeah.
his mom coming in and telling us, like, boys, go to bed. Okay, and we turn it all off. And the moment that she's like, the door's closed and she's quiet for a little bit, we're back on and we're playing, I mean, that was my life. So couch co-op was such an important part of socializing for us as kids growing up. And it's something that we just don't really have anymore. And this is a bright spot for our future, because think about it. You'll go into a room with a bunch of teenagers and they're all sitting around on their phones. Not talking, not communicating.
But
At
imagine
least
if
this
they're
is engaging with
imagine
each
if they're
other.
all on their phones, but they're playing a game together and they're talking
Absolutely.
and interacting. Like, I don't know. That seems awesome to me.
Absolutely. So xCloud has it on the money. I mean, you had the xCloud for a while. I don't think you have it anymore.
No, I still have it. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm still in the beta. Like, I haven't touched it in a while because I just haven't had time. But I mean, it worked flawlessly on my phone. At this point, they just had the Halo Master Chief Collection now. I want them to add more games because I want to try something different than just a first-person shooter. I want to be able to try like Sea of Thieves and stuff like that, like how that would work. But no, xCloud ran. That's out of all the streaming services, that's the one I've had the best results with. And GeForce Now, the NVIDIA GeForce Now has worked great too. But yeah, I don't know. After reading that, it really had me inspired, because all this time I'm just like, I don't know, streaming services, like separately, like I never thought about it together, but separately, I'm like, streaming services, are they really going to be good as we think they're going to be? And then the other side, I'm like, man, it's a bummer that couch co-op games aren't going to, they're disappearing. And so like when this guy kind of like connected those dots for me, I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That's brilliant. And I think this is everyone's best. Yeah, this is the best bet for couch co-op. This is the only way it's going to happen, because obviously companies want to make money on multiplayer. That's why Xbox charges for Xbox Live Gold. That's why PlayStation has their PlayStation Network. That's why Nintendo even has their own Nintendo Online for even $20 a year. They want to make money off that. But so that kills the whole couch co-op thing. But yeah, with streaming, that's going to bring it all back. And I'm really excited for that future, to have that back again. So yeah, I don't know.
No, it's amazing.
It got me
think it's gonna be
stoked. And
awesome.
yeah, I recommend it. All you guys go read that and just, feel inspired. So
the most fun that I've had video gaming in a very long time, since Red Dead came out, the most fun that I've had video gaming has been sitting with my son playing playing Super Mario 3 on his Switch. Just us sitting there, putting it up on the TV, and us going back and forth and playing, sitting next to each other in his gaming chairs, has been the best.
That's awesome.
For him and for me. It's just this, oh man, you almost got it, or what happened? What did you do?
There's that there's the whole like encouraging one another, or just like ragging on each other, and like the whole going back and forth. Like that's so much fun.
Yeah, and that's what's missing out when you're just yelling at somebody over a headset.
There's like a disconnect when you can't see the person. Like you're either gonna trash talk them and be a jerk to them, or there's so much communication that's lost just through hearing someone, like not seeing them.
I'm glad that the people out there out there in Super Gamer Boys land can communicate with us and can see us.
That they can.
Especially that sweet, sweet mustache you're rocking this
I
week.
hate it.
Sweet. That's right. Stash Mageddon, baby.
Thank you guys so much for listening this week. If you really loved this episode and were okay with my mediocre stash.
Look, he seems so tired because of all the charisma that he exuded through this whole show that he's now just like, man, I got nothing left, JJ.
Go to patreon.com/supergamerboys. You can support us over there at just $1 a month. You can get our audio episodes early. You could be listening to this tonight, Monday, March 16th at around probably about 10:30. You could have it live in your ear holes. So go check us out over there. Supergamerboys.com/store. You can get some sweet merch. We got mugs, we got stickers, we got shirts, we got all the fun stuff. Rate and review us. The last couple episodes, I think I haven't mentioned this, but I want to mention it because we actually got a review. So you can't find it on the American Apple Podcast Store because that's what I normally check. I normally just go to Apple Podcast on my phone and see if we get new reviews, like about once a week, once every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we had nothing. Then I got this email. I use a third-party website for tracking some of our like stats and downloads and stuff like that, called Chartable. And I noticed that this said we had a new review. I went and looked at Apple Podcasts. I'm like, there's no new review. So I went back to the dashboard on the tracking website, and it said it was from Great Britain. And that's the reason I couldn't see it, because we can only see the American and podcast stuff.
So you have the review here? You printed it out?
So if you haven't, please go rate and review us, just like Hackrez did via Apple Podcast over in Great Britain.
What did he say about it?
He gave us...
Do it in a British accent. Oh my God, yes. This is what you've been waiting for. He's got a sweet mustache. He's going to talk in a British accent.
I cannot for the life of me do a British accent. He gave us 5 stars. He titled it Super! Exclamation point.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now officially my favorite podcast, Garrett Morlang and JJ Purdom, are the Super Gamer Boys, 2 very different people who share a love for gaming. Every week I get my dose of gaming news and opinions as told by Garrett and JJ, along with chit-chats about their weeks that I genuinely look forward to hearing about every week. These guys talk about topics with perfect balance of sensible discussion and outright brilliant humor that tickles my funny bone just right. Highly recommended. And you can watch Garrett and JJ do the Super Gamer Boys episodes on YouTube, which is what I like to do as well as listen to the audio podcast. Having visuals of their reactions to each other's comments adds to the laughs and giggles that make this already awesome podcast awesome.
That is an excellent review. Dude, I love you. I don't know if you're a dude or not. You could be a female. That's really fine too. Because I like females. Totally. I'm married to one. Dude, seriously, thank you. That's a beautiful
Thank you for that review. That was
really
like
excellent.
So awesome to read, and I've been thinking about that all day because I just found it today. I'm like, I'm glad I found that. It's awesome to read.
I'm glad you shared that on the show. That's really awesome.
Yeah, if you
we
guys
love good reviews, and that one was a really excellent one. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so if you guys really love our stuff, no matter what country you're in, go ahead and go over to your Apple Podcast or whatever app you use. Give us 5 stars, leave a written review. You might be featured on the show, but we really appreciate it, and it helps our show get out to more people. So thank you so much for that. If you want to find us during the week, you can go to supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram. We're at supergamerboys, facebook.com/supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter at @gmorlang.
I am on Twitter at JJ Purdom. I'm constantly doing the tweets.
Never. Thank you so much to Star Andrews for our logo. Check her out on Instagram at Ground Floor Graphics and facebook.com/Ground Floor Graphics.
All right. We're going to have to go ahead and get out of here early because Garrett's got to go shave his mustache because his wife is really not happy.
Yeah, she was not
really
happy.
Not happy. I love it. I was wondering because I did get a text with one of the flip-off emojis from a number I didn't recognize, but it looked like it had the same prefix as your number. So I assume that it's from Trudy, but I don't know that for sure. I don't want to, no fingers being pointed or anything like that. I think she might have flipped me off, dude.
Well, I might have given her your number, so.
That makes sense. All right. Hey, guys, thanks once again for joining us this week on Super Gamer Boys. It is always a pleasure. It's mostly always your guys' pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Garrett.
And my pain.
And his pain. He's Garrett Morlang. I'm JJ Purdom. We are the Super Gamer Boys.
We'll catch you on the flippity flop.
I was thinking maybe we could do like a new thing where you don't say.
No, that's my thing. Too bad.